Today we're doing a review of the Fyro Citta Slings. Here at Nomads Nation, we've been reviewing bags for the past 7 years. And in this video, I'm gonna tear these slings apart. We're gonna pack the slings out, double check their advertised capacity. I'm gonna give you my brutally honest pros and cons, and I'll explain to you how a man, such as myself, can review slings that he in fact made. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because if you're not quite feeling the Fyro Citta Slings, I'm gonna make 2 sling alternative recommendations so you can find the bag that best suits your needs. Let's jump into the gist of the Fyro Citta Sling. Okay, but first, let's talk disclaimers and the fact that these slings were made by me. And what I mean by that is, well, story time. After reviewing bags for 3 years on Nomads Nation, I got the fiery desire to kind of make my own bag brand and build my own backpacks and slings. And I did so with a new brand that I launched about 2 years ago called Fyro. We launched with our debut bag, which was the T22, and as that bag was coming to market via Kickstarter, I got a ton of requests from our community to do a review on it, which made me feel like uncomfortable, but I was like, also like, I can totally do that, right? And I've been getting a lot of requests to do the same thing again, so let me tell you why you can trust me reviewing my own products. Number 1, while Fyro is so important to me, the biggest thing in my professional life is the trust that I built via Nomads Nation. Trust is everything in this modern internet age, and I won't compromise that for anything. But number 2, like honestly, I don't want you to buy this sling if you're not gonna dig it. Like if it's not what you're looking for out of a bag right now. So through this detailed and thorough deep dive, I'm hoping that you'll be able to easily determine if it's the sling you're looking for, and if not, then we'll talk about the alternatives at the end, because the most important thing to me is you finding the bag that best suits your needs. Okay, now we can talk about the gist. Fyro launched around 2 years ago. We started with the T22 backpack, which was sort of like a command center modern work bag. And then we launched the Citta Slings along with the Levo travel backpack. Let me run you through some of the sling's top features. We've got a very minimalist aesthetic that has a quick access front pocket, a wide mouth opening main compartment that is gusseted and has a bit of internal organization as well. A hidden zippered pocket on the back panel, with one sneaky little feature in there. I'll explain that in more detail 2 chapters from now. And perhaps most interestingly of all, we have a harness system that has no quick access buckle or hardware. Granted, the shoulder strap can completely be removed, but there's no magnetic or finger release hardware that allows you to quickly take the sling off or to put it back on. And that was done for one reason: additional security. And we'll talk about that in a bit more detail in the next chapter and all the pros and cons that come along with it. Now, the Citta Slings are advertised to be 1 liter and 3 liters volume respectively. But here at Nomads Nation, we always double check those things. 1 liter, fully packed out with our factory grade measurement balls. Quick dimensions check. We got a height of 5 inches, a width of 10 inches, and a very stuffed base depth of around 3 inches. Main compartment. As you can see, that black mark is 1 liters, and we're coming in at 1L on the dot. Now for the 3 liter. Unlike the 1 liter, the 3 has a bit more volume in its front pocket. So we'll go ahead and fill that out as well. The 1 liter though, when it's fully packed out in the main compartment, that front pocket is kind of flush. For fully packed out dimensions, we got a height of 5.5 inches, a width of 10 inches, and a fully packed out depth of 4 inches. Capacity check. So as you can see right here, we're coming in at just over 2 liters. Yeah, maybe like 2 1/4. I think if we stuffed it out a bit more, we could have gotten maybe 2 1/2 out of it, but I think final answer, if it's 3 liters, this sling, it's definitely a tighter 3 liters. As of recording, the Citta Sling only comes in 1 color option, black. All Fyro bags are protected by their lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all this, the 1 liter runs around 109 USD and the 3 liter is 119 USD. Now, moving forward, those prices are gonna be our North Star that determines whether these slings are worth it or whether they're a ripoff. But it should be noted that if at any point during this review you're thinking about making a purchase or you want to find out more information, we definitely suggest doing so with the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team, so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the outside of the Fyro Citta Sling. The aesthetic, I would say very sort of like modern, minimalist, business, professional, sort of like in that trifecta. It's definitely not like a super like colorful kind of casual sling. It's got a bit more of a serious edge to it. Should be noted though, we did launch this sling in green as well, which I think had a bit more playfulness to it, but as of recording, I think it should only be in black. But if you guys want more colors, be sure to let us know your preferences in the comments below. And one more thing about the aesthetic is, let me explain the difference between the 1 liter and the 3 liter is, well, basically is none. Except with the aesthetic, you can see on the 3 liter, the larger one, this front zipper is just executed slightly differently. It has a little bit more curvature versus the 1 liter, this front zipper is just a little bit straighter. But aside from that, and obviously the size and scaling it up and down, these slings are carbon copies of each other. Now moving forward, we're just gonna use the 3 liter. And let me tell you about the external fabric because it's quite interesting. And there's some pros and cons you gotta be aware of. Now, biggest thing contributing to that aesthetic is going to be the primary fabric. This is a polycarbonate Codra nylon 330D. The 330D is basically the depth of the fabric. It's not very thick, right? Compare this to like an airbag. They use a 1680D ballistic nylon. That's like thick with 2 C's. So 330D in comparison is significantly thinner and lighter, but won't be quite as abrasion resistant. Don't get me wrong, it's still extremely abrasion resistant, but there's no doubt about it. Like compared to a thicker fabric, you're more likely to tear through this than you would be something that's a 1000D Cordura or a 1680D ballistic nylon, but still like really, really difficult. And the reason is this is still a nylon. Nylon is the best fabric for bags due to its abrasion resistance and its weather resistance. And we take the weather resistance a step further with this polycarbonate coating, which is on the front and the back of the fabric. And that's just gonna give the fabric extra weather resistance. So on the good side, it's light, it's weather resistant, it's abrasion resistant. But one negative about this fabric is that it can scuff a little bit sometimes. You can see right now, it's not really happening. It's a bit more likely to happen when the sling or the bag or this fabric is just kind of fresh out of the oven. And the reason is that polycarbonate coating, while it never peels, which is another pro of this fabric, because a lot of weatherproof fabrics end up looking like this over time, but the trade-off is that sometimes the polycarbonate coating can look a little chalky, which means that your bag might carry a bit of character on it. And if you want to learn more about this fabric, you can just look at Peak Design bags. Peak Design's been using basically the same material for decades now. And that's a big reason why we picked it. It's proven. We knew that Peak Design had been just rocking this fabric for so long. It never peels. It's so durable, it's so weather resistant. But what's different about Fyro's is that, unlike Peak Design, they use a crap ton of padding in all their bags, which makes sense because they're protecting camera gear in their bags, right? We're not really a photography brand at Fyro, so therefore the fabric has a really nice flow to it in a way that you may not have ever seen before on a Peak Design bag. Logo, very subtle, just the Fyro graphic right there. And this is also a external lash point. I'll be honest, not the most like functional external lash point, but I guess, if you want to clip something onto your bag, this is very clippable, but it's definitely a bit more of a branding move than it is an actual like functional clipping external lash point. Now we're gonna talk about the 3 zippered sections in the next chapter. So in the meantime, let's talk about the harness system and one of the biggest negatives of the Fyro Citta Sling, which is removing this hardware here. Now this hardware, all right, let me do it in real time. Let me show you what I mean, because it's not impossible, but you gotta, okay, actually all right, I'll be honest, that was the fastest I've ever done it. Because these bits of hardware could be very tedious to get off. They're not as hard as your typical like G-hook, where you're literally, you got like a 50% chance of breaking a fingernail. All right, let's see if I can do this one fast. Real time, no speeding up, first attempt, go. See, okay, that's what happens. You get caught a little bit. Okay, not bad. Practice makes perfect, I will say that. When I first started using these clips, oh my God, I couldn't figure it out. And we got a lot of negative feedback on this with our reviews from the other bag reviewers. So you might be like, well then why'd you go with this solution, Aaron? Well, a big part of this sling, or a big selling point, was security. So you might be thinking to yourself, well then why the hell did you choose these, Aaron? Well, there's a few reasons. One, they're really quite beautiful and premium. They're metal, they're made by WeTool. They just look and feel great, and it allows you to remove the shoulder straps, then you can turn the sling into a tech pouch. But also, even though it's a little bit difficult for you to get off, that also means it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for a potential thief to get off. Now here's the deal, I'm not like a big like fear monger. I'm not like the dad who's like, keep an eye on your stuff, don't get stolen, I'm not trying to say that. But there is something to be said about just having a little extra peace of mind. And one of the biggest selling points of this shoulder strap is the fact that there's no quick release buckle anywhere. No magnets, no finger release. And for some people like me, it's just nice to have, especially when you're using this sling in new destinations. I go to Vietnam a lot, right? And bags, there are stories going around about, bags getting jacked and stuff. So it's just one of those ways to ensure it doesn't happen. And then remember, if these clips then sort of add to that additional security. Let me know though, like, would you rather have seen this strap have like a magnetic buckle right there, right? Then you can do the quick release. Like one of my favorite slings of all time is the Bellroy Venture Ready Sling 2.5 liter. And it's got that Woojin clip. You just go like that and you could just take it off. There's cons with this, right? Like it means to take off a sling every time you gotta do like the full stretch. You can't just unclip. So like, I understand there's pros and cons with it. I would have loved to hear what you guys say. Like, would you have preferred a different strap? Should we offer maybe like the option to have like one strap that has the magnetic hardware and another strap that doesn't? It's actually cool, I never thought about that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's do a little strap measurement real quick. We're coming in at a max length of 55.5 inches. And at its tightest, it can be worn at 29 inches. Which brings me to another potential con of this sling is the fact that it's not a really good like hip fanny pack bag. We developed this to be the ultimate comfortable, secure, accessible crossbody bag. This strap, you know, it can be done. You can wear this in the front if you want, but it's just not built that way. Like I've reviewed fanny packs or hip packs before, and like they're just constructed in a certain way to accommodate that shape. And this is just not one of those bags. So if you're looking for a sling that can double up as a fanny pack, I think that there's better options in the market. What do you guys think? Am I doing okay? Do you feel like I'm being fair and honest? Give me like a progress report halfway through. Let me know if you think that I'm giving this a proper review. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, that should be about it for the outside. Let's now jump into the inside of the Fyro Citta Sling. All the pockets are accessible with YKK non-PU coated zippers. Another potential con for some people is that PU coated zippers are zippers that look like this, at least when you first buy them. And they're great because they provide extra weather resistance, up to 30% based on our internal testing. So if weather resistance is really important for you, like there's only so much of the polycarbonate Koja fabric can do. Water can still seep through the zips here. But the good news is that zippers like these will never peel because the PU coated zippers can look like this over time. So there's a pro and a con for everything, right? There's always a trade-off. Also at the end of the front compartment, we have these little anti-theft nylon loops, which means that you can go ahead and weave the zipper on through, pull it in place, and then you can see you got this little guy. It's not gonna completely stop a thief, right? I mean, like, it's just a little nylon cord, but buys you a bit extra time, gives you a bit extra peace of mind. But the good news is that if you never want to use it, you can just zip it all the way to the end, and it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind there. Front pocket, we have a signature copper lining that we use for all Fyro bags. This is definitely gonna be a choice that's gonna be a little too loud and maybe aggressive for some people. I know a lot of people out there prefer a cool gray lining, or yeah, I mean, a lot of people like gray, and I get it. But we wanted to kind of stick out a little bit. We're a new company, we gotta have our voice heard. Have like some signature calling cards. So this copper lining is one of them. I am so proud of this copper lining. It is unique, it's kind of trippy, and it creates a highlight effect, making it easier to find what you put where inside your bag. Inside this pocket, there's no internal organization, just a big old space to throw all your gear. But we do have a key leash and a cord pass-through. Now the external lash point here is one of the things that we do at Fyro that's quite subtle, but I'm really proud of because the key leash isn't sewn in to the actual bag, which means that you can clip it on to here if you want. By the way, this key leash comes with the Citta Sling. It's nylon webbing with some metal hardware on the top and the bottom, so it just gives you the ability to like take it off and to maybe switch it out with your own key leash, or to upgrade possibly to the Fyro retractable key leash. But the whole goal is just to give you versatility, right? I actually really hate it when key leashes are sewn into bags. And I do predict that in the next like 2 to 3 years, all these bag brands that we're reviewing are slowly gonna start implementing systems like this, because it just gives you more versatility to put your keys wherever you want to put them. But if you got a nice little key leash, you can clip it on and it gives you quick access right there. Cord pass-through. I'll be honest, it's kind of a feature that's, I don't want to say gimmicky, but it's not gonna be for everyone. Like, I don't think most people will get value out of this, but it's for the few and the proud who really like to have a battery in the main compartment and keep your phone in the front. Now, to be honest, like, it's actually a feature that I didn't even want, but our designer, David, was like, I think it's really cool. And I was like, then we'll do it. Then let's go for it. And, you know, for some people in the community, they're really jazzed up about it, but definitely something that I personally wouldn't ever use. Now, let's quickly run you through the main compartment, and then we'll pack the sling out and compare it to the 1 liter. Next up for the main compartment, 2 YKK zippers get you in. We also use Hypalon zipper pulls. Laser cut, they feel great. And you got a bar tack stitch right there, just giving you a little bit extra grip as well. Main compartment organization is pretty minimalist. We've got a big, huge freaking pocket on this side, power mesh with a microfiber lining, 2 area spandex pockets with some elasticity, and our Neo Lycra tech sleeve on the back. Now I gotta say that all the fabrics that we use on Fyro bags are the finest fabrics in all the land. And the reason is I just developed this obsession with fabrics. I am obsessed with touch points in bags, that when I put my fingers into the bag, I know it's weird, I have to say, but I just like fabrics that make you go, oh, and like, and just create a sense of joy every time you're interacting with the bag. And that's gonna be a pro because it feels amazing. I mean, all these fabrics are silky and smooth and premium and stretchy, but it's also adding to the cost of this sling. Like 120 bucks for a little chest bag is definitely a lot. I get that. You can get a Tom Talk that slaps for like 35 bucks. So keep in mind, like, really high quality lifetime warranty and really high quality premium materials is what you're paying for with Fyro slings and Fyro bags in general. All right, let me pack the slings out so you can see exactly what they fit. First up, your run-of-the-mill 24-ounce water bottle from Colombia. 1 liter sling. It sort of sits in the main compartment, but it's not gonna close, right? And I wouldn't get the 1 liter sling expecting to keep yourself hydrated. But good news is that 3 liter, we're absolutely getting that in there and zipping it closed. But for most of us, we're probably not gonna be using these slings for water bottles. It's more for just the smaller bits of gear that you need on a daily basis or when you're traveling. Now for the text sleeve on the 1 liter, not gonna fit any tablets, simply a spot for your smartphone. So my iPhone 13 slides in there. This has a little bit of structure to it just to provide a bit of padding for your tech gear and to give it just like structure, like I said, just so it's not flopping all over the place. This fabric is our Neo Lycra, which is basically a blend of neoprene, Lycra, which is spandex, and then some nylon. It feels incredible. It's soft to the touch. It's microfiber. It's anti-scratch. It's just it's a gorgeous fabric. Now let's talk about these 2 pockets right here. We use an Aria spandex, which means they're stretchy and beautiful and just so silky to the touch. But the pockets are a little bit more on the flush side. So if you put something larger in these pockets, well, actually not larger, but let me just show you with the AirPods. Things can fit, but if it gets tight in there, they might pop out. Alternatively, we could have done like top zippers or change the fabric. Just kind of depends on what you want to put in those pockets. So if you do, something slim, like a battery, that's gonna fit very nicely in there. And same thing with your AirPods. As you can see, a little bit of sling around, nothing's falling out. But if you want to put something like a bulkier mouse in there, watch what happens. You put it in, and the pocket sort of rejects it a little bit, right? Not terribly so. You can see the mouse is still staying in there, but it's just the design of these pockets. The elasticity when you push down on it and the tightness, it kind of pushes back up if there's something bulkier in here. But for the way that I pack it out, like I said, battery, AirPods, backup headphones. I want to talk about finest fabrics in the land. This microfiber is insane. We searched high and low to find the highest quality that we could. For somebody like myself who was obsessed with my sunglasses, I just know they're super safe in there. And what's great about this pocket is just how big it is. So if you want to put your sunglasses and a Peak Design packable tote in there as well, you totally can. Power mesh here, also elastic and stretchy. But do keep in mind that if you push it too far, it'll get really loose over time. I got some pens in the middle, zip it on up. The 1 liter is truly a pocket reliever. It's literally just the small things that you don't want to put here that you can then keep here. Then you can throw your wallet in the front, passport in the back. But I do think the 1 liter is a bit more niche, and that definitely shows in the sales data as we've sold the 3 liter like 2 to 1. So let me show you how this one packs out instead. For the tech pocket, this can fit up to an iPad mini. All the dimensions for what tech this and the smaller one can fit, and really just all the dimensions in general can be found on the Fyro website. But as you can see, my Lockbeat journal fits perfectly in here. This is probably the biggest sized thing you can actually fit in this pocket. So let's just talk the dimensions real fast, just so you have them in case you're curious. Height of 8¼ inch, width of 5½ inches. It's the same size. Oh, this one's a little bit taller. This one's actually, the tan one is 6 inches. Let's see if that fits. Nah. And you can see when we have the 6 inches, we're not gonna fit in there. So 5½, it's as wide as it's gonna go for your tablet or your notebook. And the 3 liter just feels so much more spacious. So kind of the same setup. I got my headphones, battery, sunglasses, but then we just got a lot more space in between. So then you can put your tote in there and maybe a mouse if you're getting some work done at the cafe. And then in the front, again, we can do wallet, got my keys in there already, back pocket for the passport. That's how it's done. We also got one more point of criticism in the reviews of the Citta Sling, that it packs out a little strange. As you can see, when you really push it, the shape can get compromised ever so slightly. It's something I'm not really too worried about. I think with soft goods in general, this happens. It's definitely something that you're gonna see more on a bag that has lighter and thinner materials, just because those thinner materials kind of just warp with whatever is in the bag, versus thicker materials, like let's say, again, to use Aer as an example, their Day Sling 3 with the 1680D Cordura. If you use a lighter fabric, it might lose its shape a little bit when it's fully packed out, but then again, it would be heavier and bulkier. The lightness of these slings is like one of the things that we really wanted to hone in on. Popping the shoulder strap back on, because it's not just lightness though, it's also the comfort, because what good is any bag if it's not comfortable? Like I said, we didn't intend this to be a waist bag. We wanted it to be a crossbody that flows with you, whether it's on the front or the back. And you can see just how the sling does that with the hardware and with this nylon webbing. Now real fast, before we jump into the next section, if you're new to Nomads Nation and you're not familiar with what we do here on Nomads Nation and how I built my own bag on Fyro and kind of how they all work together, well, I just want to welcome you again. And also let you know that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just do epic bag reviews, usually not my own bags, usually other brands' bags. But we also have the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, you can look at me sort of like your reporter in the field for what's happening in this incredible world of carry, gear, travel, and EDC. Because as you can tell, I'm kind of obsessed with this stuff. I reviewed bags full time for years, and then obviously I made my own bags, and I'm in it in ways that few other people are, which is a good thing, because I'm just like wired like obsessively. And instead of you having to be wired obsessively as well and do this research yourself, I just do it for you. And I bring it to your inbox like once a week, and I'm telling you the newest drops and the limited edition releases and industry trends and everything that you need to know what's happening in this incredible community and niche. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the world of carry and gear, be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. Hope to see you in your inbox. Okay, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Fyro Citta Sling. Pro number one, it's going to be the super high quality materials and fabrics. This bag feels just premium, what you're paying for, so keep that in mind. Pro number two will be all the extra security measures that we put into the sling, whether it's the nylon loops at the end of the zippers or the lack of the hardware on the strap. It's definitely one of the more secure slings in the market. And pro number three, I think just has to be that wide mouth opening with the gussets. When accessing this compartment, like that accessibility and just the overall like that you get into this compartment, it's very functional and it feels great. But having said that, all bags have cons, including ones that I made. Here's a few things that might make you want to reconsider if the Citta Sling is for you. Con number one is gonna be the price point at 120 USD. This is definitely kind of one of the more expensive slings in the market. Con number two, for some people, the security of no buckle actually just means a pain in the for taking this thing on and off. Con number three could be a lack of potential security with the two pockets in the main compartment here. Con number four is this hardware. To take off the shoulder strap, it can be a bit of a learning curve. You might lose a fingernail in the process. Okay, now we'll take the overall pros and the cons, mash them together to give you our overall scores. First up, for comfort, depends. 5 out of 5 for chest bag mode, in my opinion, but a 1 out of 5 for fanny pack mode. So if you're looking for a bag that can do both, this thing fails. If you're just looking to rock it on your chest and on your back, I think it's gonna be one of the better options on the market. So 2 scores for that. For value, I'm gonna give it a 3.75 out of 5. I think that it's expensive, especially the 3 liter, but you are getting YKK zippers, Codra nylon, high quality hardware from WeTool, and just like really soft and smooth and silky fabrics all over the interior. And for my overall score, I give it a 4 out of 5. I think that it's a little niche. This is not gonna give you as many features as like the Rework Toshi sling or some slings from CT. So we're coming in a bit more narrow with the Citta Sling. But if you fit the user case of looking for something sleek, minimalist, that offers a little bit extra security as well, it's a great sling. Now keep in mind with these end scores, they're always personal, and obviously it's extra personal because it's my bag. But just a reminder, if you're still here and you're thinking about making a purchase, we do recommend doing so with the first link in the description. That link just makes sure that you get the best price, and if we have any discount codes, that's where they'll be. But if not quite sold on the Fyro Citta Sling, here's 2 alternatives that might better suit your needs. First up is gonna be the Rework Toshi Sling. This is a great pick for you if you're digging the Fyro Sling. You're looking for a killer chest bag, but you want more features and versatility. The Rework Toshi gives you the ability to adjust the harness system. You've got a bit more pockets and organization, and a killer external harness system on the bottom, a great spot for putting your umbrella, water bottle, etc. Honestly, it's one of the coolest slings in the market right now. And alternative recommendation number 2 is going to be the Aer Day Sling 3. Great pick for you if you're looking for a sleek, urban, city sling that has insanely premium materials, lifetime warranty, all the bells and whistles, but it's coming in at a lot lower of a price point. I'm actually kind of astonished. It's coming in at like 80 USD. Aer's price points, I'll be honest, I don't know how they do it. Like for such high quality goods at such a low price. As a newer brand at Fyro, we can't quite compete with those margins yet, hopefully one day. But like I said, my goal is for you to find the best bag that suits your needs. Maybe it's the Fyro, maybe it's the Aer, maybe it's the Rework. They all got their pros, they all got their cons. So if you want to learn more about the 2 alternatives, you can just go ahead and watch these videos here. I really want to thank you so much for watching this video, supporting Nomads Nation, potentially supporting Fyro. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Aaron, and we'll catch you next time.